Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Old School, New School Comedy Podcast. And I am your host, Christy Miller. And yes, we are back. It's been since I got home from the road with Dice. Then my computer crashed. It's just been a nightmare. So I just, everything's slowly getting back to normal. And so pardon. Can I even talk anymore? Sorry for the delay and the total lapse, but we're back and we're bigger, stronger, and faster and funnier than ever. Are we, though? Anyway, I love this show. And with me this week is a really good friend of mine. She's part of the New School, and I met her a few years ago, and we became fast friends. She's the most loved, hated woman in comedy, which is hilarious to me, and we'll get into all that. She's also like a really big show producer out here in New York City. She puts on great shows, and she's really fun to work with, and she's super cool. And I guess, there's nothing left to say. She's open for comics like Sherrod Small and one of my favorites, Josh Johnson. I love that kid. And so, I want to share with you my dear friend, Victoria Arnstein.
Hi, Christy. Thank you so much for having me. I love that intro. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I give really good intro.
You hear that? You can host for me anytime.
Thank you.
It's pretty accurate. I'm the most loved, hated, misunderstood person, I think, in the newer comedy scene. I've been out of it because I was in Hawaii, but doing comedy out there.
Right.
But then
what was it like doing comedy in Hawaii?
It's like doing comedy in New Jersey with a nicer ocean.
We'll be right back.
It was like, it's a small community. You're a big fish in a small pond.
Right.
And that's
that makes sense.
Yeah. And so because there weren't that many comedians and there was military that would, there were people going in and out of the island. So,
right.
You're getting a new crowd, but you're also you're able to hone in on your set and get better and better. And they would give you longer time.
Right.
Because there were less comedians, they would pay you. So, I was a pro right away. And I had just started in New York, and then I moved to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Didn't do anything for 3 years because I didn't know the scene.
Right.
Then I found a scene, and they asked me to, come on the scene.
Nice.
The locals and the ones that were there before me are like, bitch, take a number. Like, how did you get up? You know what I mean? Like, we've been here for a while, and here you are just getting up. I'm like, they wanted me out. The producers wanted me on. Take it up with them.
Listen, I
was funny. What did you want me to do? I wasn't going to apologize.
And also, it's also a New York thing. We carry an energy with us that even if we don't say anything, we're aggressive. But not even in a bad way.
I know.
We're aggressive because we're so used to fighting and going towards shit that we go to like slower, the slower United States, smaller towns or rural or suburbia or whatever it is. Our energy is still in that fast-paced New York, get, go.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I totally get it.
Yeah, so of course in Hawaii, you're probably like the Kool-Aid man busting through there.
I never slowed down like everybody thought I would. I'd never slowed down. I was always on that New York energy. I still spoke to my friends and family in New York, so I still had that going for me.
Of course. It doesn't leave you.
Yeah.
So.
But I never got into the Hawaiian lingo or anything like that. I just stayed in my own place and I did my own thing, and I swam a lot in the ocean. So
there's not much else. There's more water than land.
Yeah, hiking. I was hiking and I was swimming. There were mountains and water. And
beautiful.
I loved it.
That's beautiful. I would have been like, oh, this is a good place to hide a body. This is a great place to hide a body.
Yeah, but you can't really do much crime because they will find you. There's nowhere to go. You can't get off the island without a boat.
The cops are like, Victoria, we see you across the street. Like, you've got nowhere to go, lady.
It's so funny because I grew up in a very small community in Brooklyn, and
called Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. It was a small Jewish community, and I always I didn't like being in the fishbowl thing, right? And then I went to Hawaii. I'm like, oh, nobody knows me. In 10 minutes, they meet you. And then they're like, oh, I saw you at Whole Foods. I saw your car. They know your car. It's such a small island. So I'm like, this is even worse.
Yeah.
Could not hide.
You can't. Not when there's a population 8.
Right.
You know.
But the good news is, if there is a crime, they'll find it. They'll find the person right away.
Hey, Tommy, you fucking jacked me, dude. Like, what the fuck? You're
Everyone
in court.
knows you.
Dude, Tommy, we know you did it. We saw you. Because you're right there, bro.
The cops went to school with you. So
the cops live next door to you, bro.
It just happened.
That's so great. So when did you come back to New York?
About 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And I came back for a weird reason. My husband went to jail.
Oh, that's so hot.
I knew she'd like that.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed for a while, but then
why? You need to play that.
It wasn't. I do it.
He was in prison.
Yeah.
He fucking tore that ass up.
So,
Yeah.
Anyone who owes me money, my husband's gonna come collect. No, he was in there without any reparations to give back or anything. He basically the story goes is that about 7-8 years ago, he hired a guy from India to do his software. He fired the guy. My husband has a software company, sells gemstones, and he fired the guy from India. And this guy was bitter. He was there for 2 years. My husband didn't want him anymore. He fired him. The guy's like, well, you're going to regret this for the rest of your life.
Uh-oh. Indian school shooter.
Yeah, he wasn't kidding. He wasn't kidding. This guy actually hired about, 8,000 other people from India to write bad Yelp reviews and bad websites against the company. The company was number 1 on Google. It went all the way down to page 16 in no time. So my husband, tried to get him with the FBI in India. Good luck finding an Indian guy in India. You can't. So my husband...
Because it's everybody.
It's everyone. My husband hired a lawyer here. It was a tremendous amount of money. And he ended up, just to get the websites off. They were fake websites. Just to get them off, you had to hire a lawyer for like $200,000, right? So he was taking off the Yelp reviews at the time. I think you can do it now legally, but you couldn't 7 years ago.
Right, yeah.
So he was taking these off, and then... So you need a lawyer for that. But then my husband didn't know that, but he's like, oh, this is so easy. Just copy and paste.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll do that. And I'll take a few of my employees. We'll do that without even looking. Yeah. Who cares? Well, apparently you need a judge's name on it to do it. And taking it off is considered forgery. Now, he didn't know that. But one day I'm sitting in my garage in my place in Hawaii. My husband just went to New York. And I hear 7 people at the door knocking. FBI, let us in. Where's your husband? I'm like, I don't know. You're the FBI. Where's my husband? How do you know? How do you not know where my husband is?
He's been cheating on me, and when you find him, I'm going to kill him myself.
Right. So I'm like, oh my God, look at those guns. That's so cool. They're like, yeah, stay away from the guns. I'm like, is that code for I'm going to strip now? I thought my husband pranked me.
Right.
I'm not joking. I thought
that's
they
hilarious.
were strippers.
You're I have all these hot. This one's kind of fat, but all right.
And they were telling me things like, where's your husband? I'm like, I really thought they were strippers. I thought my husband got me on the biggest prank.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So they're like, call your husband. I'm like, okay, that's kinky. On speaker? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
So so I call my husband on speaker. And I'm like, yeah, the FBI is here. Ha ha ha. He goes, what'd you do? I go, what do you mean, what did I do? Cut it out, Mike. He goes, no, really, what'd you do? I go, this is real? And it was real.
It's funny
so the
how that
FBI
happens.
came in, and all of a sudden now we're in court. And, the judge sentenced, he went to jail for 9 months. The thing is, he was only sentenced for 3. He liked it so much. No, he really did like it. It was like Otis.
3 hots and a con,
It's Otisville. It was no walls, it was low security, but he loved it. He really ended up loving it.
Yeah.
So.
Because you don't have to worry about it. Everything's taken care of.
That was that.
It's like living in a hotel.
Yeah. And while he was there, I signed the company over to me. So you see how it worked out.
Atta girl. So you set it up, got the company.
Yeah, I'm partners with the Indian guy.
Oh, no, my friend. No. 50%.
I said.
I'm probably canceled now.
Good. Who cares? I was like, yeah, you know what? He was so organized and great at getting things done. I was like, why wouldn't I partner with that? No. But I don't partner with anyone. So now my husband's not even my partner.
Now you're like, get out.
Yeah.
You're like, where's the feds? Can we get you out of here?
No, it's so funny because I just said, people are like, yeah, I see this true crime or whatever. Or there's so many women that are in jail now for killing their husbands. Like, why would you have to kill your husband? All you have to do is tell them they're great at something. Like, my husband just got back from Mount Everest. And he was like, I'm going. I'm like, yeah, you should go. Making sure that everything.
Don't use the clamp.
He got back from Mount Everest. He did a good job.
Shit.
He almost died 4 times. His oxygen mask went out, and forget it. It was a crazy ordeal. I have a whole joke about that. Good. But anyway, when he got back, he's like, I'm back. That's it. I did it. And I'm like, you know what, hon? You're so good at it. I think you should do K2 next. It's harder.
Why don't you walk to the moon? Walk to the moon. Barefoot.
Yeah, honey, you're really good at this stuff. So women, get smart, all right?
Send them away. Honey, you should really go away for the weekend.
I noticed that you do your makeup really well, too. Very few comics are together. They're not put together well. But no. Christy... And I think I also, we always have our shit together, I think.
Well, this comes from being born and raised by a pack of wild drag queens.
Well, that wasn't my case.
No, like a lot of my friends were makeup artists. And my friend Corey, who's kind of like my adopted kid, and I met him I'm going to say about 7-8 years ago at Sephora. He was, working there and did makeup and stuff. And I met him and I was just instantly in love with this kid. He had a full face beat, gorgeous. He's like, and he's not like he doesn't like, oh, I'm non-binary. He goes, no, bitch, I'm a boy who loves to paint his face. I'm like, a girl, But he used to do makeovers on me all the time. But he would teach me when I would buy makeup palettes. He would teach me how to use them. So he taught me so much. So now I'm like self-sufficient. Yeah. Because he used to do my makeup for big events like galas or TV stuff or photo shoots. I would hire him, and he's like, "Girl, you know how to do this." And he taught me so much.
Looks great.
Also, I watch a lot because my favorite makeup brand is Natasha Denona, and she's a makeup artist and a former model, but she teaches, she has her video. I love her, but between those two, I've really mastered makeup. Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know if anybody else gives you those compliments, but women need to give more compliments to women. Yeah, they don't do that.
No.
I don't know why.
Well, because
it doesn't take away from you.
Well, it's just because people are insecure. When people can't be around other people like them, then it shows that they really want to be, I always say, females, like they want to be the prettiest girl in the room when you walk into a club. Like they want all eyes on them. And I'm like, bitch, I'm 54. What the fuck? I don't care. Leave me alone. Look at her. Yeah, go fuck her in the back room. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and I realize there's enough for everything to go around. I gotta say, it's a chorus line. Not everyone's gonna like your type. Not everyone's gonna like my type. Not everyone's gonna like everyone's type. So everyone's gonna find their mate and their whoever.
As they say, there's a lid for every pot.
That's right.
And
my lid's a little bit cracked, but anyway. Or maybe it's the pot. I don't know.
Well, it's all cracked.
Cracked.
I know. Like I'm my boyfriend and I are working on it now, and it's pretty good. He's doing good. He went through a lot this last year, and he's emotionally retarded. Okay. Because he's a firefighter. His first big fire in his first couple months as a fireman, like his first 6 months, was 9/11.
Oh God.
So he's got
what a gig.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, way to close it out before you even started.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's Benjamin Button going backwards.
Yeah, I'm like, that's like playing Madison Square Garden at an open mic. Like, what are you doing, bro? You don't have to like go all in.
Well, when you see a Kill Tony, you're like, wow, they really are.
There
going
you
backwards.
are. Oh, and I love when the open micers do Kill Tony and they use that as their credit. I'm like, you're still not funny. Kill Tony. I'm going to kill him for putting you on the set. You
kill myself for watching that.
Right, I'm like, fucking kill me. Kill you, asshole. But it's like, it's just, whatever. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. But it's.
I kind of want to be on that show.
I bet you. I want you to be on that show. I want to be on the judge panel. I'm not an open micer, but
I'd like to do both. I'd like to start out as an open micer on it, and then
so I'd want you to do open mic so we could all light you up. And that would be the first. See, that's for me. When I find someone who can roast me really well, I cling to those people. Like I'm just like glued to them. Yeah. Like, oh my God, finally. you know, I've been roasted a lot, and I love it. You know me, I love to be thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
I love just getting ridiculed. I think it's the funniest thing. And when it's really smart and creative, I'm dead. Like, I am literally on the floor dead.
So, what do you like being roasted by people you know or people that you don't?
I don't care.
Okay, because I'm going to tell you something about me. I'm roasted on a daily basis, a couple of times a day by my husband. He doesn't even know he's doing it anymore. And I just realized it the other day. I'm like, you know, you insult me a lot, and I don't realize it until now. I'm like, you know what? The voices in my head are really your voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing it. And that's probably why I don't do a roast, because I feel like I've already been roasted so much.
Yeah.
My sister has roasted me my whole life.
Yeah.
She's older than I am. And then my husband also roasts me. And I'm like, you know what? And now my daughter roasts me. So I'm like, I'm roasted. I'm overcooked.
So the common denominator is you. You're the problem.
I'm an easy target. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, I knew when I was dating, my boyfriend and I were dating like a year and a half ago, and we went to a Yankee game, and a friend of mine gets Legend Sweets from her boss, and she gives them to me on a regular basis. So we got first base line, like 8 rows up. It's, you know, Legend Sweets. It's, you know, all the food's free, everything. It's amazing. It's a whole event.
Yeah.
And, you know, he grew up in the Bronx. So he's like, we sit in the bleachers. And I go, yeah, with the peasants. Honey, we're going with the rich and white. You know, this is he's Puerto Rican, but he's a white Rican. So he's
more reference.
He's hilarious. He's so.
Could you be with anyone that's not hilarious?
Yeah, he's very like stiff.
Yeah.
But when he delivers a roast, oh my God, it is so good. No. I mean, they prank each other at the firehouse.
Right.
But no, he's not. He's too uptight because he's, you know, whatever. And he's like, I want to get a hat. And I said, all right. I go, well, you know, I have a bunch of Yankees hats at home. You could just take mine. He goes, no, you have a big head. And I was like, oh, he loves me. He roasted me. Oh my God.
Yeah, I get
I'm
that.
Like, he really loves me.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
And I do have a big head.
Well, it is his love language. My husband's love language is roasting.
Yeah, and for me, with my friends, that's our love language. Because to me, because, you know, when you can roast somebody like that, that means you have so much trust and respect that you can say anything to that person.
I do it online all the time, man. And I'll do it in person. I don't care. People say, oh, you're doing that because you're faceless. I'm like, you want to do it in person? I'll do it in person. Yeah. I got no problem telling you in person.
But I'm not mean when I roast. No, you can't be mean. You can't.
No, I'm not
snarky.
mean. When I'm being attacked, I'll roast them back. I don't do it. I don't do it out of nowhere.
Okay.
I do it on the attack. As a defense, I do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you can't write back to me. You're not qualified. Stuff like that. You know what I mean?
They're
like, what do you mean I'm not qualified?
I would just go, that's adorable. That's so cute. Right? Did your mother write that for you?
Yeah, right.
I do. You know,
stuff like that. I go, shit's nap time. You know, things like that. That's not a real roast. But it's just, I'm shutting them up with
it's like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, yesterday I was going up the escalator at 59th and Lex off the train. And, you know, normal people, normal New Yorkers, stand to the right if you're going to ride the escalator.
Not just New York, everywhere.
So fast-paced, so the left lane can be clear for passing.
Right.
So these two queens stand there, and I go, excuse me. And they just, like I just...
Wait, what generation was this?
It's younger. Everybody's younger than me at this point. So, and I go, excuse me, and they just kind of went like... And I just went, like, I just did a sigh, like, all right, here. And he goes, you don't have to be rude. And I go, oh, girl, get the fuck over yourself. And I just kept going. I go, shut up, girl. Just get the fuck over yourself. Man. Like, I don't have time for this.
You know, channel share.
Yeah, sweetie. You know, I want Cher to do a roast, you know, because she's funny as fuck. If you ever hear Cher, she can deliver a joke. She's so good.
Yeah, she's good.
Hey, sweetie, you're fat. You know.
Yeah.
That would be like her talking to her son-daughter.
You're great at that.
Sweetie, you're fat.
Her son-daughter.
And you're a girl, man. Thing. Sweetie. I'm sorry.
So good.
Chaz.
So good.
My sweet Chaz today.
So funny because my mom was grew up in Florida. She got asked out by Greg Allman. And
my friend used to fuck Greg Allman. My friend Terry Fapoli.
My mom didn't get to that point. I don't know.
No, she used to bang him. I'd have to sit in the car. I'm the ugly friend, you know.
Oh my god, so funny.
Terry was gorgeous, Sicilian, tits, red, natural, like dark red hair, tan. Like she was stunning.
What's she look like now, though?
I don't know. She's raggedy.
Sometimes redheads don't.
She was 15 years older than me, so that makes her.
Wow.
Oh, she is 69. I bet she's still doing. You know, knowing Terry Fapoli as much as I know her, or that was her married name, or her real name's Terry Cachera. Knowing her, she's probably still drop dead gorgeous.
Really?
Because she was just naturally like this exotic, like, like your face would crack when you see her. Right. And I wanted to kill her, and I was just a friend next to her.
Well, you're not now, so.
Yeah, so I'm the finally. I finally peak and I'm too old. Dusty.
No, not far from it. You're so strong, you fit, you look great.
Oh yeah, I can take a punch.
That's for sure.
I train to be hard to kill.
I'm not gonna mess with you.
Yeah, I'm hard to kill, so I can be my own bouncer.
I'm just a runner. I don't do much. I just run and swim. That's all I can do.
Oh,
and
fuck
hike.
that. I'll fucking body slam you. I'll lift you and throw you out a fucking bridge.
My daughter's like that. She wants to be Miss Olympia. She's 18. She's like totally into it.
Do it. She should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Good luck to her.
She's 4'11". It's so cute.
Oh,
yeah, she lifts like 50 pounds in each hand. I don't know. She's crazy, like you.
I think my vagina. I always tell guys in the audience, I'm like, dude, my vagina can outbench you. What are you doing? Who the fuck are you?
Oh my god.
You know. I'm terrible. I love roasting people though. So with you, because you know, we did set you up as one of the most loved, hated comedians in New York and misunderstood. So talk to us about why. And what it is, or what you think it is, or...
All right. Well, it must be a few reasons, okay? So,
like, what do you think?
Well, maybe it's a few things, you know? I found out that I wasn't getting any paid gigs for some sort of politics that I like, or some sort of, what do you call it that I had? I'm Jewish. There was people that were against Jews in Hawaii. Believe it or not, there was a venue that I found out later, and they were like, "We don't want to hire you anymore." I'm like, "Why?" They didn't have a reason. That's racism. Like, you don't have a reason. You can't give me one.
Oh, that's xenophobia.
Yeah, but I'm not foreign. Like, there was just hatred for Jews.
Really? Did they come out and say that?
No, they said it to my friend who's half Jewish and said, "Here, you're okay. You're half Jew," or something like that. And that happened way after, and I didn't know why this happened. So anyway, that place went out of business, but I didn't really say anything because I didn't say anything because because the producers had other venues that they booked me on, so I didn't want to mess that. Sure. And also, I never said anything also because I didn't want them to get the attention. You know, for whatever reason, I just didn't want anybody else who didn't like Jews to, you know, befriend them.
That's so crazy.
I know. You don't like Jews in comedy? Are you mental?
that is Hollywood. Those are the most comics are Jew. When the people say, "Have you seen that Jewish comic?" I go, "Oh, what? The one with the head and the two arms?" That guy?
So
all right.
In New York scene, also stuff maybe politically, and also the other thing that I would say would be because I would put on shows. I was new to the club. Al Martin was the owner of the club. He was a friend of mine through online.
And that's Broadway Comedy Club here in Midtown Manhattan.
And Greenwich, yeah. And we were friends, and other producers didn't like that. They saw me as competition. And so they also didn't like the comics that were bar show comics and open micers. And I ran open mics. They didn't like that I had shows that they call them bringers, but I just had a few comics that were up and coming that would bring people for exchange for stage time. So they would make fun of me saying, "Why didn't you pay them?" I'm like, "Well, they didn't pay their dues. I'm going to pay the pros. When they become a pro, I'm happy to pay them." So the exchange for being on a show with pros, you'll have to bring people. And that's what they didn't like. And I got bashed for it. I still get bashed for it. So that was another reason. And a lot of people, my husband's theory is, "Oh, they don't like a rich bitch." Okay, but I don't do anything with that. It's not like that goes with me. That's not my personality. I'm not a rich bitch personality. It's in my act, but I'm making fun of it in my act. But for some reason, I have this persona that I'm like this
Well,
rich bitch.
it's an air that you carry,
right?
You know,
because I dress well and I do it in my jokes, so they assume it. But I'm very down to earth. I've run ultra marathons. I've done things that were so psycho that like nitty gritty stuff.
Good.
And I was not always rich. So I was totally in the trenches for a long time. I was broke for a while. So I know what it's like to be on the other side. I know what it's like to be on the other side. You know, I've gone up and down with money. So, you know, and I don't apologize for it. I say more money, more choices. But I give a lot of charity and I do a lot of good things with it. I also used to visit sick people in hospitals. No one knows my other side. So they want to assume that. And I think what people do is they take a person that's making it and then they're doing well and then they want to just crush them down. Yeah,
well, that's the American way. Right. Like we build people up to destroy them.
Yeah.
You know, it's human nature because people
you have the
want to support you because you're at their level. And then when you start to rise up, they start to hate on you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just I don't listen to all that shit. I don't care.
I don't either, obviously.
You know, I've gotten so much hate from clubs here in New York because of my association with Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
And opening for him because he was hard to deal with because he would never held back.
Right.
He always spoke. I'm like, Mooney, shut up.
Yeah.
Get the paycheck, then cuss them out.
Right.
Cash it, then cuss them out.
Right.
You know, don't tell them to their face what you think of them. They're not going to hire you.
Right.
Or they're going to, they're going to tell you to go fuck yourself.
You're pretty fair with your advice. You're pretty fair. You don't tell people what to do, but you give good suggestions.
I just
and you've been at it for a while.
Yeah. And I just come from experience. And when I tell people stuff, it's up to you to take it.
It
doesn't change my life if you do it. I don't give a fuck.
Right. And that's why I think it's generous of you because you don't have to.
I don't have to. Yeah. And a lot of people I don't. I just ignore.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, good luck with that. But people I like, I will, throw them some advice. Hey, I would do this if I were you, but do what you want with that.
But your loyalty is also there, and I'm pretty loyal too. Your loyalty was with Paul. And so what you did was you took his side and you kind of paid a price for it. There's a price for everything.
Yeah.
But, you thought that was the right thing to do because you're a good friend.
Well, it's not even so much that. It's just that I loved him like a father. And I didn't care what people thought because I loved him like he was my family.
Yeah.
And he believed in me. And so that was enough for me. And then when we parted ways, when he got very sick and everything started falling apart, and I got pushed out of that circle because I was defending him. I was protecting him. Right. And I got pushed out by the vultures. And then I'm starting over in New York, try to regain my name. They're like, oh, you worked with Paul Mooney. Yeah, that you're going to be a little too much for our room. And I'm like, what do you mean? And, I'd go in and kill in their rooms, but they're like, yeah, you're a bit much.
She always kills. And I got to say, I'm very impressed by that you even were with and even know Andrew Dice Clay. Because to me, he's a pioneer.
Well, he's an icon. He's, I tell him.
And I wasn't in comedy back then, but I really know what he is now.
I told him, I said, a couple of years ago, we were working on his documentary that got all screwed up. And that's a whole fiasco. I said, you were one of the first comics to get canceled.
Isn't that great?
And he goes, wow, I never thought of it that way. I said, well, besides Lenny Bruce, who would just go to prison for what he said.
Right.
But I go, you really got blacklisted because they came after you. And this is no internet.
He's the first one to do everything.
I go, you were an icon without the internet.
Yeah.
You sold out the Garden without the internet.
It's insane.
And did a stadium tour across the country in Australia and everywhere. So
amazing.
You did this without the internet. And you're an icon. So because of you playing the Garden when you did with Dice Rules, now all these comics are like, we could do that, back then, because the biggest place anybody would ever think to perform would be the Beacon Theater or, small the Wiltern.
Garden is insane.
Yeah, it's insane for a comic. Now everybody plays there now, know.
He opened those doors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because he did it. They're like, wow, we can do that. You can play the Garden.
4 Minute Mile.
Yeah, and it's like, oh shit. And now people started dreaming bigger because of him.
That's amazing. That's amazing. He didn't really love the comedy as much as he liked the acting.
Yeah, and now he's so into the comedy. He's so obsessed.
Oh, good.
Yeah, his new stuff is like, people are like, you still around? Yeah. This
What?
is the hardest working man in show
yeah.
business. His stand-up now is even more funny than it was then, because
I
then it
gotta
was
see it.
very
Yeah.
cartoony. We talked about this. I said, I go, you're 45 years into the game. So your comedy character's a 45-year-old man. You kind of caught up to yourself. He goes, oh, I like that. I caught up to myself. I go, we all do. We all start off with this idea and we develop it for 10 years. Once we get to the 10-year mark, we kind of have a gauge of who we are on stage. And then from 10 to 20, we start writing for that voice that we've developed.
Right.
And then from 20 to 30, you start talking in that voice you developed as a regular voice. And by the time you turn 30, everything comes out in that voice and funny.
Wow.
You know, it's a stage. It's like growing up. And you know, him and I talk about that shit a lot. But it's really incredible to like see someone like him and get to work with someone like him who's still at the top of his fucking game
and
on
stage. I think pretty amazingly humble, and because when I comment on his Instagram a lot, and he likes it. He likes it, and he even comments back sometimes.
He does. He's
very down to earth.
He's very involved in Instagram. It's him.
Yeah.
And he's so in it. He loves it. He loves the comments. If someone's mean to him or say something negative about me or Eleanor or someone in the video, he'll just block them.
Wow.
He goes, they don't get the privilege to follow.
He's right.
And
he's right, and he's loyal. I could tell. And
yeah,
also,
he's very loyal.
Also, when I said I saw him do something during the pandemic, he was doing it in a tent in what do you call it?
Soul Joel's.
Right. And I'm like, look at this. The man sold out Madison Square Garden. Now he's doing it. Look how amazing his range is.
One of my favorite stories.
And he says, I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
And that was so
He's got to make money. He has to survive.
Even if he didn't, he would do it.
Yeah,
he would do it anyway.
He's so humble now, and and now he's working on this next level shit. It's amazing. But it was so funny at Soul Joel's because the train tracks were right behind it.
Oh, really?
So the trains would go by.
Yeah.
And at one point, he just lied down on the stage and just waited. It was so hilarious. He just said, fuck this. And he lied down on the stage.
His whole life was
just kicked back until it was done. He's all done. All right. Then he got up and
he put that place on the map. I didn't know about that place until he was on it. Like I followed him.
Oh,
That's how I knew about it.
Yeah, Joel Richardson's been around for a little while. He's from Staten Island.
I only knew about it because of Dice. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So, you know, he really opens doors in many ways, more than one.
Yeah, he's very generous. And
yeah, you were saying that the
other I always tell him, I joke with him, I go, I'm your side chick. Because Eleanor is his main girl,
right? And
I'm his side piece. And he just goes, "What's wrong with you?" I go, I'm the side chick. Like, what do you want? But it's hilarious.
He's great.
He is. So, with that being said, because you produce a lot of shows and all that crazy stuff, and it's so funny is that people, because that's a good topic to come up with Bringers, because in the 90s. We started Bringers.
Right, I know it's later.
And so, because that's when the comedy scene was dying.
Right.
The internet was involved and DVDs and all this shit, and nobody was going out. Yeah, and nobody was going out anymore.
Right.
And so...
Nothing like live comedy.
Yeah, and oh no. And so the clubs really took a dive. And that was my tenure at the Comedy Store, was during the dark days. That 10 years there was dark.
Wow.
And so I never got to reap the benefits of its heyday before and
after.
I
heard everybody wanted a sitcom.
Yeah, well, in the 80s, everybody went there to get a sitcom.
And you could be seen in LA. I don't think in New York.
New York, I always tell comics this. This is a piece of advice I give young comics. If you want to work and develop, come to New York. If you want to showcase, move to LA. Because LA is not a working city. It's not it's not conducive for working comics. It is a showcase. So you have to be developed. So you go out there to showcase. But on the East Coast, there's so many fucking places to go up. Because when I came up, there was only 3 comedy clubs. Or 4 if you count the Ice House in Pasadena. But we had the Comedy Store, the Improv, and the Laugh Factory.
The Comedy Store had a few places, right?
They had 2.
Oh, now they have a few more.
Yeah, they have. Well, they had, before I started, like in the 70s, in the 80s, they had Westwood, which was kind of like their shop, where she developed acts. And then the Comedy Store on Sunset and the OR and the main room, that was their Showcase Club.
That's the one I
And then she had the one in La Jolla, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great club.
I wish I met Mitzi.
She was such a character.
I wish I met her.
I'm blessed and grateful that I got to spend many years with her.
I'm sure.
Under her watch.
Yeah.
And that she really loved me and she really pushed me. And, she pushed me out of the nest. Like, you need to do more. She's one of the reasons I moved to New York.
That's great.
And, Mooney was the other reason. And then when she was very sick, Mooney went home. He was in LA at his house and he went to see her and he calls me. He goes, honey, I went and saw Mitzi. And I said, oh, how's she doing? He goes, oh, she's okay. He goes, I told her you're with me. And she goes, oh, good. I'm so glad. Take care of her. It's like, it's sweet. So, it was crazy times, man. Mitzi Shore was an icon. There'll never be another Mitzi Shore again. And there's people out here, even here in New York, that I've come across. I'm the next Mitzi Shore. No, you're not. You're not even the next Pauly Shore, you piece of shit.
Yeah, no, she was also a pioneer.
Mitzi, big time. And Mitzi was a pioneer for female comedians.
Yeah.
The Belly Room, because it was such a male-dominated industry in the 70s and 80s, she had the Belly Room open for women to develop because there wasn't that many women comics.
Amazing.
So she opened the Belly Room specifically for women to develop and work on their acts so they could go in the main room and the original room on the weekends and the big shows. And, Whoopi Goldberg did her one-woman show up there. That's where she developed it, was the Belly Room. And the old days of Ciro's, here's a piece of history. The Belly Room is where Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz had their wedding reception.
Wow.
Was up there because Ciro's was the big gangster club in Los Angeles. Everybody hung out at Ciro's. And that was the main room. And Mitzi and Sammy bought in 1972 the front half. They were leasing it out. So they bought the front half, and that's why it's called the original room, because that's the original Comedy Store. So in 76, she took it over, and Ciro's finally, went under and sold her the rest of the building. So then the main room was the showcase room, the big main room, which seats like 340 or 350 or something like that. And then that's why they named it the original room, and that's the main room. Like, that's the big showroom.
Did she buy the whole building? She
owns the whole building.
But now Pauly, her son, owns it.
Peter and Scott
and is it
run
under new management?
Yeah, Peter really runs it because Scott's still in San Diego, but Peter Shore runs it. He's amazing. Peter Shore is so awesome.
Who's
Pauly,
Peter?
One of her kids, because her daughter Sandy died right before she did.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then Pauly, they bought him out, and he's in Vegas living his best life.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's doing great.
He's doing
love
comedy.
Pauly.
Yeah.
I love him. He's so hilarious. And dude, bro. But
never met him either.
Yeah, he's great.
You've got so many stories.
Oh, so many stories. So everybody tells me you need to write a book. I'm like, do I though? Nah, there's some stories are meant to be just memories,
right?
And just like,
I wrote a book originally just to have my kids read it, just so they know who I was when I died.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have a book. Tell everybody.
Yeah, it's called Impress Yourself. And I was getting divorced at least twice. Married 25 years.
Third time, she sent him to prison.
So, oh my God. So we ended up getting back together. The last 6 years have been the best out of the 25.
When did you guys get together?
1997, 98. Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
I was working at a jewelry store on Madison Avenue. He walked in. He's 7 years younger than I am. So.
That a girl.
Yeah. It's funny because he acts like he's 60 and I act like I'm 10. So it reversed.
It works.
Yeah.
I think it's good for women because men age faster, I think, than women do. Women are more mature.
Yeah.
But men never, I think as men get older, they become children.
Yeah.
They really become infantile.
Yeah. Well, he loves to play big and he likes to play, he likes to go big.
Yeah.
He wakeboards every weekend. We go to a lake house that we have. He wakeboards like a child. Like, I gotta go wakeboarding. I can't wait to go wakeboarding. Okay, honey.
You should stand on the side and heckle him with a bullhorn.
He's a 48. It's like, okay, honey, you're gonna break something. No, but he loves to play big, and but he works really, really hard. So he has those two.
Work
he's
hard,
an extremist.
play hard. Yeah,
he's an extremist.
Yeah,
but he's gotten me into ultra marathons, which is what I've done. And I had no running background. He trained me, and I became this crazy runner. I would run for hours and hours, and I ended up winning a race because of his training. So he was a great person to train me because he's a world-class runner. So he has that mindset of, complete discipline.
Mm-hmm.
He's also sober about 36 years, and he's only 48. So
Wow.
you can imagine how young he was when he started.
You can imagine how young he was and how fucked up he was that he had to get sober.
Yeah,
at
well,
that
his
age.
parents were divorced twice. So like his mother divorced twice. So he was like from this mentality of like go out and do everything yourself. And he was selling drugs at 13. You know what I mean? And then
Good for him.
Yeah, it was only pot. I mean, if you can call that a drug.
That's
right?
white drugs.
That's
a white drug dealer. The black
yeah,
drug dealer got the crack and the fentanyl and all
marijuana.
that shit.
Yeah, so it's like, but I didn't know him when he drank and when he did all that.
Oh, that's
I didn't know
good.
that. So
That's good.
I've never seen him drink a drink of alcohol.
That's fantastic.
So he's been disciplined that whole time. So that's his personality. But he's addicted to other things like running a lot and Everest. And sometimes I'm his addiction. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, sometimes he needs so much of me, or sometimes he doesn't need me at all.
Yeah, which is fine. So have you written this down as a sitcom?
No, but it is in a book. It's called Impress Yourself. And I used to be a health coach. So I also wrote about like the 8 pillars of health. And, laughter is one of them.
Yes,
and I really believe that people don't go out enough to get it. My husband doesn't like comedy clubs. He doesn't like to laugh on demand, or he doesn't get the whole comedy thing. Sometimes if I send him a clip of like Chris Rock, it's a minute long, I'll be like, yeah, that was a good one, but don't send me anything long. I don't want to. He's not into it.
It's not his thing.
So it's not his thing. But I had to realize as a comic and a married person that you're not going to get everything in one guy. You know what I mean?
Listen, I always tell people with a relationship to be successful, it's not about your likes or your hobbies. It's about lifestyle.
Right.
And like my boyfriend, Steven, we two polar opposite, lifestyles,
Oh,
he's a firefighter. I'm a comedian and stuff, but we share the exact same. We're like the same person, like off stage, off work. We share the lifestyle, so it's really easy.
That's so great. You found someone like that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, what's happening.
He's got a little making up to do. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's a little bit in the doghouse.
Yeah.
No, but he's a really good man.
Yeah,
and he's got
times my husband's been in the doghouse.
He's like, I have a dog mansion.
My husband and I have been so up and down, and sometimes it's weekly. You know what I mean?
Oh, it should be daily.
Even now. But I learned to understand it and where I get triggered, and then I'll just go for a long walk, and I'll just get it out of my head, and then I'll tell him. You know what I mean? But, in the heat of the moment, I used to fight back and all this stuff because I'm a fighter. He's a fighter, and now we're too exhausted to fight. So that's why it's great now. Yeah. It's great. But it's just like, all right, just have sex. Yeah. The makeup. By the way, I think he would fight with me on purpose just to get that makeup sex.
Yeah,
I'm on to him. I'm on to him.
Well, I don't fight with my boyfriend, but I'm always down for makeup sex. Honey, yell at me quick. Call me a cunt. Call me a cunt. And then fuck me right here.
Yeah, that's why she likes the roasting.
Yeah.
Tell me again.
Yeah, tell me what a piece of shit I am. Oh, yeah. Oh. But that's your sitcom. Your husband's out of prison.
We almost did wife swap because my husband only
wife swap?
Okay, so it was years ago. We had 3 kids.
God.
We didn't do it.
Okay.
Because the contract was this big and they own you. But my husband was only eating fruits and vegetables raw for 8 years straight. That's a sitcom on its own. But that's a reality show on its own. So could you imagine who they were going to swap us with? We were all into health and fitness, and we were both runners, and he was an ultra marathoner and a marathon champion. Could you imagine who they were going to give us?
You were going to get some big, fat, sloppy,
absolutely
greasy eating motherfucker.
Yep. And I would have been
Come on, darling, put on your good robe bonanzas on.
It would have been the most watched, I think, out of all wife swaps.
Yeah, it would have lasted. It would have probably lasted about 7 minutes.
No, we have both of us are endurance athletes, so we can go the distance. So we would have stayed till the end.
Not me. I have no patience. Like I'd be like, oh fuck this. I would just leave. The show would be over in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's your New York side. Though.
Yeah, like no. But I don't have any patience.
The reason why
I have no tolerance for people's bullshit.
Well, the reason why my husband and I are still married are because we go the distance. That's really the truth. Because I don't see how. I was just saying today how somebody you don't realize men don't want commitments. And I'm like, but they commit to the same cup of coffee for decades, like every day.
Yeah.
But you get so much more joy out of a woman. Can't you just commit?
The woman has a vagina. I don't see you sticking your dick in the coffee cup. It doesn't feel that good, does it? Not that deep, is it? Huh? Oh, it makes your dick look big because it's shallow. All right, fuckface. I know, I'm quick.
So many times, Sherrod told me to do more crowd work. I'm like, I don't know, I'd be lost. He goes, no, you wouldn't. He goes, every time we talk, I'm laughing from you. Why can't you just do that on stage? And
well, it's different when you're hanging out with your friends than it is when you're on stage.
That's
and
true.
It's, you know, what I did back when I started, because I wanted to be a better writer.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like quicker if somebody heckled. It wasn't even about, at that point, it wasn't even about crowd work. I've only been doing comedy like 3 years, maybe.
Right.
And I just wanted to be faster at heckles and to be able to trust my gut that something's funny. So that's when I went through the Groundlings in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And after level 2, it really helped me develop my instinct.
What was the
trusting your gut?
What do they do? How do they?
It's improv. It's an improv school.
Yeah,
you know, and at the time when I went into the Groundlings, Mindy Sterling had gotten Austin Powers. You know, she was on there, so she was like the big. She broke out of this.
What did she do? What did she do in Austin Powers?
She was the little angry old androgynous lady.
Yes.
Mindy Sterling, very funny.
Yes.
And I remember it was just the first rule of improv is just trust your gut, and then yes and everything.
Really?
You know, yeah, it's trust your gut because don't think.
I learned it in acting school, but I didn't know.
You don't think. Don't think in improv. You just say whatever. Because people think, oh, I'm going to say this really funny thing, and it never happens because it's never going to get to that point because that's not how improv works. It's not pre-written.
And no one's worried about it now being canceled and all that stuff. What you say?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
But you know, but it's like trust your gut.
Yeah.
So I remember really just not thinking and just reacting, and it would always get huge laughs. And I was like, oh, and I would feel it in my stomach, and I'm like, okay, I know that feeling. Now I know how to get to that feeling by just fucking letting go.
Right.
And after the second level, I was going to go to level 3 and then try to get in the theater itself. My teacher, she was very cool. I loved her. We sat in the rain in my Volkswagen Bug out in front of the theater. And she goes, don't come back. She goes, you are way too funny for this theater. She goes, you are so funny. You're so quick. She goes, don't waste your life in this place. She goes, we're all lifers because we have nowhere to go. And I was like, what?
Wow,
she goes, yeah, you don't. She goes, don't waste your time in here.
What a compliment.
Yeah, she was like, she goes, you're so funny. And she goes, this is only going to hold you back. She goes, look at us. And I was looking at her like, why are you saying this? Like, this is
before
insane.
Stand-up or during?
No, I had started. I was like 2 or 3 years in or something.
Right.
And I was just looking at her like, you don't want my money? You know? You know,
that's
it's
an honest bitch.
Yeah, she was so real. And I can't remember her name, but I remember her face. She had dyed black hair, tattoos, she was a little thick, very pretty face, funny, quick. And she had the patience of a saint. And she told me, she goes, please don't waste your time in here. She goes, you're so fucking funny.
That's
just
great.
go. Don't. And she's like, you'll do better out there.
Wow.
She goes, you don't need this shit.
What a great way to have a foundation.
Yeah, and it was like, I'll never forget her because of her, I was like, okay. And then I would go on stage, and there was this gay room I used to play in Studio City every week a lot because it was the Becky show. My friend Dan, he would dress up as Becky, this white trash, trailer park, missing teeth, big old giant, hilarious. This guy was hilarious. As himself, boring. But when he dressed up as Becky, oh my God, crusher.
Really?
So funny. So it was the Becky show every Sunday at this gay bar. And they had a stage and all this stuff. They did karaoke there. And I would do the shows there a lot. And I remember being on stage and just using those tools. I literally just let go and I felt my gut take over. And I just started riffing for like 10 minutes. And because I was headlining, so I just riffed and I wrote all this material. And then Mitzi Shore would
You were writing on stage?
Yeah, that's how I write, is on stage.
Wow.
I have an idea, I go on stage, I'm going to talk about this. Let's see what happens.
Wow.
And I go on stage, riff for 10 minutes.
No net.
No net. I am a no net bitch. I work really well with no net. So
then you use it. Later.
Yeah, and because of that, I'm like, okay, now this is like.
So you went to another whole level.
It was a whole different level, and
I gotta get
now it's just you have to get out of here.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about the punchline.
You're right.
Stop thinking this is going to be hilarious if I say it like this. No, just know the beginning, middle, and end of your bit. Like the beginning of it, the setup. You know what happens in the middle, and you know how it ends. Right? That's every story basically, or every joke or whatever. However you do. I do rants and roasts, but see, my crowd work in the crowd is all off the cuff.
Right.
Like I have nothing planned that I'm gonna say. And I've written some killer fucking jokes, just riffing, making fun of the crowd.
Yeah.
Certain lines I kept and put in like a file somewhere in case I ever need it again. Because I'm like, that was brilliant. I remember one night it was remember Gino Bisconti?
Yes.
You know him?
Well, he just got married.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
Kiana.
Gross. Anyway. That's like the white Ike and Tina, but too bad she's not funny. And the shade.
I take the fifth.
And it was his birthday show at New York Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And I was on stage, and there was this, and I was playing around on stage, and this kid, and I said something about a fire. I used to have a bit about a fireman. Like, I always call I call the fire department and say my cat stuck up in a tree and it's my vagina. I go, see my cat stuck up in a tree and do all this stuff. I would do anything to get them to come over.
Right.
And this one guy's like, he's a fireman. I go, you're a fireman? And I was like, oh my God. And I walked up and put my vagina right in his face. My cat's stuck up in a tree. They're dying. Like the crowd's going nuts.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend, I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. and it was this whole bit that came out. Right. And I started riffing on them and how old they were. And it became, actually, I just was making fun of them.
Right.
And it actually became a bit. Like it was so funny to me, and it killed. And I'm like, that is such a great line that I came up with. Now that line is in my act permanently.
Right.
And it's just.
And it still does.
And it still kills. And the line is, I talk about how young they were. I go, you don't even have a pubic hair yet. And like, whatever. I go, you're so young. And I forget what else I said. And then I said, we can, something about a condom and having sex or something like that. I said, don't worry. I said, the only period I get is if I hit the space bar twice on my phone. The crowd went nuts. People stood up and started throwing like, ah! Yeah. And I'm like, that line. And I thank God I recorded it.
Yeah.
Because that line's still in my act to this day.
You got to record everything.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's still in my act to this day.
That's great.
It's just, but that's just going off the cuff.
Yeah, it's like when I told them, like when I didn't do jokes before my first time ever doing comedy. I ended up doing just telling stories.
Yeah.
I would tell stories about like the jail story. I wasn't really making it funny. I was just saying what was happening. I'm like, try finding a guy in India. Like I was just like, that's how I think.
Yeah.
That's how.
And then you embellish and you make it bigger and funnier, and that's what becomes your bit.
I gotta work on that.
You really need to work on that. But I love you to death.
I love you.
And even though everybody hates you, no, she's just very misunderstood. And
I'm okay with being hated. I really don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It's when they meet me, they're like, "Wait, you're not like that."
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll let them.
Yeah, I let people think what they want.
Listen, anything is good publicity, right?
Negative publicity. Madonna always said it. Negative publicity is the best.
Yeah.
So I love to wrap up the show with the 2 questions.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite things to ask people. So the 2 questions is, question 1, is there a bit a comic has written that made you go, God damn, that was brilliant. I wish I had written that. What was it? Or who was it?
Josh Sneed.
Okay.
He opened for Mitch Hedberg.
I love Mitch.
Yeah. He toured with him. And I didn't know that. I just happened to like him, and I found that out later. He did a dry bar comedy, and he said, "I went to the Amish, to visit the Amish, whatever, with my family." He said a few things that were funny, and then at the end, which I thought was hilarious, was I can't believe I didn't think of this, was they don't like electricity. They don't like to use any electricity. He's like, hey, you have no problem using my credit card and swiping it. And he had so many more jokes in there, but like the way he delivered it.
It's hilarious.
He's like, he goes, come on, Ezekiel. And he got mad because it's not his name. But stuff like that, just like, what I didn't like about that place? I didn't like the people, It was just really, And they're like, don't take pictures. We don't, we're very modest. They're like, yeah, really? Yeah, I didn't think you were going to be that modest when when you're selling a wooden table for like $200,000.
Yeah.
You're not that modest. Yeah. He just had a whole bit about Amish. And
that's
it was
hilarious.
Just so great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I loved it.
I have millions of bits of comics I see and I go, God damn, why didn't I think of that first?
Yeah.
And question number 2, because Paul Mooney used to wrap up his set every night with street jokes.
Right.
But he would Mooney-ize them.
Okay.
Put his little Mooney twist to it and make murder.
Right.
Like murder the house. So what is your go-to street joke?
I mean, I've heard so
joke?
Many or whatever, but this one stuck with me. There was a pregnant woman. She fell into a coma, and she ended up giving birth. And after the coma, she woke up, and they said, "Oh, your babies were born. You're all healthy. Everything's fine. But your brother came and he named the babies." And she's like, "But my brother's an idiot. What did he name them?" And they said, "Oh, it was Denise and Denephew." That was funny.
That's cute.
I didn't tell it right. I didn't do it justice for whatever. It was like a last minute.
That's all right. Oh, you're a doll.
I love you.
All right. I love you too, Mama. So tell everybody out there in old school, new school land where they can find you on social media and if you have any big shows or anything coming up.
I do get banned a lot. So my old account was Victoria the Comedian. Now I'm Victoria, but that's my account on YouTube is Victoria the Comedian. And on Instagram, Victoria Makes You Laugh with a YOU. And I have a new podcast that you are on.
Yes,
called Wife's a Bitch with a W. Wife's a Bitch podcast. And it's about relationships and it's other stuff. But, if you want to join in on that. No new shows coming up, believe it or not. Just took a break for about a month. And hopefully I have something in the works. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see what happens. But
follow her on Instagram and everywhere, and you'll find out the details.
Thank you for having me.
And also, you can follow us here on Instagram at Old School, New School Comedy, and you can follow me as well at Christy Miller Comedy and all the socials. And please subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave comments.
Yeah.
Send us your favorite dad jokes or street jokes.
Yeah.
And last but not least, don't forget to share the episode. Thank you. Good night.